So the original concept of this come about a couple months ago. We was sitting in the gym having breakfast, just talking about business, talking about being in Dubai, what we've done to get here, struggles that we've had, and we was like, we should start a podcast. Wish we had a camera on us doing this. So now fast forward a couple months later, and we finally done it. Sunday morning, been up this morning, we trained together, come here, gonna record it, and this is something that's gonna be a regular thing. And so in terms of from zero, where the name come from, I think we've all sort of hit rock bottom at one point in our lives, different circumstances. Me and Danny are much older, but we've all experienced it, and we've probably all had to start from zero at some point. So that was where the name come from. And we've all been in Dubai for roughly around 2 years now. We've all built amazing businesses. We all see a lot of each other, got a great friendship. And I think the thing that brought us all together was our passion for fitness and health and looking after ourselves. We first met, so we was at KO8, weren't we? Doing higher ups class. So shout out Sean at KO8. And we done the class, and then we sort of was like, let's do this on a regular basis on a Sunday, and sort of just built a friendship from there, really, didn't we? And then me and Harley sort of knew each other. We got mutual friends, family friends, and everything sort of just went from there. So let's introduce ourselves first of all. So Jim, you go first.
Yeah, I'm Jimmy Candy, co-founder of Candy Pay. We're a banking and crypto company based in Dubai.
Dan?
Danny Candy, also co-founder of Candy Pay, based in Dubai. Bit older than Jimmy, so I'm 38.
Don't look it, Dan.
It's all the training. That's me.
My name's Harley. I'm 25 and I'm the founder of Trend Sourcing. We're a luxury personal shopping and reselling business. A business that was born in London at the age of 14, scaled in Dubai, and now this year is about taking it to different cities and different countries this year.
Yeah, I love that. So I'm Tommy Bishop. I'm a personal trainer and online performance coach. I've been in Dubai for 2 years now. So originally from Bethnal Green, same as Harley, East London. Then was brought up in Newham. Then I moved to Essex at the age of 12. That's sort of where I know you from, Dan, don't we? So we've got close mutual friends, haven't we? So when you move out, I remember when you moved out here, you was in KO8, and and you was like, Bishop, you was like, is that you? And then obviously, we're a lot older than these two, but we know each other from we know each other from going out back in the day.
Yeah.
Because that used to be the thing to do, didn't it? Go out back
Loughton
in the day.
High Road.
Loughton High Road, Epping, 195.
Yeah.
Faces, the good old days.
Yeah.
And I think that's important to touch on that, because the younger generation has changed massively. I think there's more and more young people that are now not drinking, they've given up, and they're focusing on getting fit and getting healthy and business. They're really looking after themselves. And I think times have changed. I think with what you've got access to now in the world, in terms, social media is a good thing and a bad thing, but there's a lot of stuff on social media now that tells you how to look after yourself, how to train properly. You've got things like run clubs where people are now meeting up on Saturday and Sunday mornings, and they're building great communities. So times have definitely changed. And like I said, I think the thing that brought us all together was our passion for fitness. I'm a trainer, and it's my job, but you could easily be trainers, because you're in the gym every single day at 7 o'clock, ain't you? Dan, Dan, you're doing.
Next to you.
No, but Dan, you're doing everything. You're running, you're playing golf, playing paddle. You're just an animal. You're just training 3 times a day.
Yeah. No, there's no stopping me.
I think you are the only man in Dubai that does a marathon, goes to bed for 2 hours, and then jumps up and does a 5K. But you are, mate. You're an animal.
Yeah. That absolutely blew my mind.
Also, he bought a Concept 2 bike and put it on his balcony. Well, I think he's a bit of a mad thing to
Just
do.
ain't got an off switch.
No.
It's quite funny, really, as well. It's ironic, because me and Harley, we met each other years and years ago, actually partying.
Yeah.
So we've both gone our separate ways, but kind of found a way back here on the same journey in Dubai.
Yeah. And that all started at KO8.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Jim met at
I
an
remember.
after party.
I remember the first time you come to that IROX class when you walked in there.
Yeah, I thought I was fit. I remember turning up
You
and
get
thinking,
humbled in
whoa,
there.
I'm humbled now.
Yeah.
I've been training. I've come to Dubai. I need to raise my game.
Yeah, but I could tell like I knew Danny. Obviously, I didn't know you, but I could tell. I think it was like your first, might have even been your first weekend. You was out there and you come to that class, and I could tell that you just like you loved it straight away. But not just the class, but like the fact that it was a Sunday morning and there was 30, 40 people in there training, you know, working hard, and I could see like the spark in your eyes, like you loved it.
Yeah, I think it's because like when I was living in London, I was kind of on a bit of a solo journey. So it was only me. I was kind of separated away from all of my friends. I was just the only one kind of pushing this lifestyle. And then when I moved to Dubai and I see how many other people were so like-minded, it was just a breath of fresh air.
Definitely. And you know, we just said like the purpose of this podcast is to try and inspire people, and definitely like from where I'm coming from, like the younger generation, like everything that I do is to try and inspire like the 21-year-old Tommy, because you know life is life. You make good decisions and you make bad decisions, but and you have to live your life. You have to learn along the way, you know, along the journey. But there's definitely things that I wish I would have knew when I was, you know, in my early 20s that I know now. And I try to, you know, put stuff out there that's going to help a younger generation. And when I'm with you, and when I'm with you, you know, you're younger, but the work ethic is unbelievable. And I've said to you before, like there's no 23, 24-year-old with the work ethic that you two have got, like how driven you are, how like you just every single day it's like, let's get up, let's go get it. There's nothing lazy about you two. You know, you're driven. It's the reason why you're so successful at such a young age. And I don't think anything will get in the way of the journey that you're on. And you can get sucked into that life in Dubai, because you go one way, there's left and right, there's
sink or swim.
100%. And there's getting sucked into the nightlife and going out, partying, doing all your readies. There's that, or there's like self-development.
Yeah.
Knowing what you need to do on a daily basis to become a better version of yourself. And you can have a little bit of fun every now and then. You know, you can go out and you can enjoy yourself, but you have to have boundaries and you have to know exactly where you need to, you know, go direction-wise in life. I think that's one of the most important things in Dubai.
No, 100%. I think one thing that I've learned, I think life rewards execution, not hesitation. And I think that's the big thing for me. I always got told I've always been sort of driven from a young age, because I was that sort of young entrepreneurial, from selling sweets in school to selling everything, right? And I always a lot of my friends were sort of older. And the thing that I used to get, especially in the UK, was live a little, which to me didn't really make any sense, right? Because I had the flip reverse of let me hustle now at the age of 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and even now 25, and then flip reverse to live a little when I'm a little bit older, because I've built something now, solid foundation that I'm going to continue to build on. Cool. I think what a lot of people do is a lot of people hesitate to start something, or they don't do it, or they think, oh no, I've got to go and party, or I've got to go and do this, and I'll start that idea or business later. Fortunately, in some cases, it's too late. Yeah. Especially now, coming to Dubai, if you're not executing, you're going to get left behind. And I think the reason being is you come out here, and Jim, you sort of said it, I was also in the UK on a solo journey.
Yeah.
And you can get a little bit on your high horse as well on a solo journey, because you look around you and people are not doing as well as you, and you think you're doing amazing. You come here and you're not.
Yeah, humble.
You know, you're meeting I had a conversation with a 19-year-old the other day, and I was like, what do you do? He's like, I'm retired. I'm like, wow. Like I thought I was doing great.
Dubai's sick. Dubai is on a different level. And you know, one thing I've noticed from being out here and like training in the gym that we train at, obviously 7, you've got, you know, big players in there, and there's a lot of wealth, but I know myself, it makes me want to work harder, because every day when I go to that gym, and obviously I work in there, I feel inspired to push myself more, because 100%. Like you're surrounded by all these people that have built these amazing businesses, and there's all different walks of life in there. But for me, and we definitely had this conversation before, like you pull up, you're like, right, you're like, I need to work harder. If you want nice things in life, you have to work hard. No one's going to give it to you, are they?
No.
Yeah, and it's nice because you can see right in front of you where the end goal is. So subconsciously, you've got people around you that are pushing you towards where you want to get to. So I think that's the problem in well, for me, when living in London, there was nothing to aspire to. So like you said, you kind of hit a ceiling, you think you're really doing well. But then when you come here, you can quite quickly see where you want to get to because it's in your face.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Even where we live, like where we live, it's 90% of people are just like, they've absolutely smashed it.
Yeah.
Like you drive into the car park and you just like it just blows your mind.
Yeah.
And it just, I don't know, it just keeps pushing you like, every day.
100%. Yeah.
And what you'll
it's so
find
good.
as well is these people are approachable.
Yeah.
So what Dubai has given is given the opportunity to get in front of these people quite easily.
Yeah.
I think there's gatekeepers in Europe and UK. It's quite hard to get in front of people, maybe due to safety, but I think it's the foundation of how Dubai has been built. But these people, they're happy to give you advice because they've been in your situation before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's fear as well. Not fear of the safety aspect, definitely in the UK, but it's a lot of people in the UK are easily threatened by other people in the space, or let's say the fitness space, for example. A fitness coach will not collaborate with another fitness coach because they're worried about, oh, you're going to steal my clients. It's the same with personal shopping, right?
100%.
I was always an advocate of let's collaborate. Let's do this together. Let me share your stock, you share mine. And I was always shut off, which then maybe made me come across a certain way to somebody, because now you move to Dubai and even this evening I'm having a meeting with another big renowned personal shopper out here, and there's no egos. It's you're smashing it, I'm smashing it. Let's sit down and see how we can smash it together.
Yeah.
Because we all bring something different to the table.
100%. And even from like a fitness perspective, obviously, you know, I'm a trainer, one-to-one trainer, and I coach as well online. And the whole industry is saturated. There's so many fitness coaches now, but there's a lot of people that have got no experience. You know, like I've been doing what I've been doing now for nearly 11 years. I've worked on the gym floor. I've done hours, hundreds of hours of personal training sessions, and you get the experience. But there's a lot of people out there now that, you know, have just started, and that's fine. Everyone needs to start at some point in their life, but they're trying to act like they're somebody that they're not. And I think you get figured out really, really quick. But even for me, like I will go and train with other coaches and other personal trainers, and I will tag them on Instagram. Like it doesn't matter to me. Like one thing that when I was in London before I moved out here, so I lived in Islington for 5 years, and I remember I used to sit in my kitchen and I used to look outside St John Street in Clerkenwell, and it was just grey and dark and raining. And I remember I used to make content in my little kitchen, and I used to think like, oh, you know, like imagine if I was outside in the sun and on the beach and doing all this content, how much better my life would be. But I didn't really believe in it, and it was only because things happened in my life that pushed me to move out here. But I was comfortable. I was just like, oh, you know, this is it. Like I'm doing okay for myself. I'm doing what I'm doing coaching wise. I'm making my content in my kitchen. I didn't really see the bigger picture. And then when you get out here, immediately after being here for like a couple of weeks, you're like, wow, you're like, this is a whole different level out here. And it makes you work harder. You're inspired. Like for me, I see people doing well and I'm inspired by them. You know, I think back home, like it might just not be in England, it might be everywhere, but like a lot of jealousy, man. A lot of people like don't like seeing other people doing well. Out here, I'm inspired. I'm like, fucking hell, I'm like, this person's doing well. Like he's making me want to work harder. Do you know what I mean? So Dan, you're obviously like, you're the only one with kids here. And so talk a little bit about like having a family in Dubai.
So when you first move, it's pretty tough, I'd say. Tough on my missus, Yaz.
Yeah.
Especially starting a business. Like we moved to Dubai really early. Like we weren't established. We didn't have a big track record or huge pot of money where we could just chill out. We literally started the business in June, and by September we were here.
It's quick.
So it was a case of literally head down. Like the typical stuff you need, right? 14, 16 hour days.
Yeah.
Like it's just not non-stop. So Yaz was on her own quite a lot. The boys weren't in school. It was like they're not at that age at the time. So it was difficult. And then obviously we've been here now. She's got friends, etc. So it's helped. But in terms of the kids, like they're literally living the dream.
Yeah.
Like, it was just last night, I was on the balcony, I got the speaker out and I was playing some tunes. Like the whole of the Palm was just lit up. Then they had a big drone show going on.
It's every night though.
Yeah. And I just said to Yaz, I was like, they don't even realise like the life that they're living.
Yeah.
Like beach at the weekend, swimming.
But
Yesterday
you're
we went to the
providing
ice
this life
rink.
for them, aren't you? You know, like you're
This is
working
it.
so hard that like you're working so hard that you're giving, you know, your family this unbelievable life.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's amazing.
But like just every aspect. Like I think with kids, obviously you don't really realize when you haven't got kids, but as soon as you have them, you're obviously really protective. And then you do start looking at where you live, like what the schools are like, how they're going to grow up. And here, I think for us, we've just got complete peace of mind. If anything, you want to be a bit tougher on them because you know they are going to have this easy life.
Yeah.
Whereas we've all come from places where you need to look after yourself. So it's really different. It's a bit of a balance, but there's no better place on earth, in my opinion, to bring up a family.
Yeah, nice. I wanna touch on that as well because you said about Yaz, like when you first move here, you know, your friends and your family and that ain't here. And I think one thing that everyone can agree with is who moves to Dubai, like men and women, I think you feel some kind of loneliness because you're out of your natural environment. You're not with like your best friends. You're not with your family. It doesn't matter whether you've got 100 friends or 2 friends. You're going to feel lonely at times because everything's different.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of people, I think, do actually move back. But you have to sort of like, you have to figure it out, don't you?
For sure.
And what I always say to like clients I work with, like, there's 3 things for me that are really important. Number 1 is your health, looking after yourself. You haven't got to be the biggest, rippedest person. You haven't got to have a 6-pack, but just look after yourself. Just go to the gym and do some exercise. Maybe it's walking, maybe it's running, maybe it's lifting some weights, whatever it is. That's number 1. Number 2 is mindset. Have to have a positive mindset. If you're waking up every day and you're negative and you're telling yourself all these bad things, you're not going to get anywhere because you're just bringing yourself down.
Yeah.
And then number 3 is the circle of people you've got around you. Like, I know yous bring out the best in me. Like, when I'm with you, I want to work hard.
Yeah.
You know, you inspire me. So the circle of people that you've got around you is really, really important. And they're the 3 sort of principles that I live by, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah.
And I think we all just keep each other accountable. Like, we're not going to sit here and say some days we're not motivated, because we are. Some days there is bad days.
100%.
Yeah.
Like I'll go on to Instagram and I see one of you have done a training session, and then it just pushes me on.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's the thing with Dubai. You said there, Tommy, the 3 things. I think they're the most important things for me. You know, I think when me and Lauren moved to Dubai, the big factor was no friends, no family members here. You know, some people do move over here with a little bit of a network, in the sense of like they've got people that they know. I never. And it was a tough, like you said, for Yaz, it was a tough gig for my missus. And I remember I'll have to get this out, it's somewhere, we had an affirmation book 2024, and every day, because the minute we moved out here, we're like, shit, what do we do now?
Yeah.
Okay, look, we've got an apartment, but like, what now? Let's find the fitness places. And I don't know who introduced me to Kate. Did you introduce me to Kate?
I think I see you in 7, and we were talking about like high rocks and that, and then I think I said like, oh, they do a high rocks class on a Sunday, because obviously like Lauren loves high rocks as well, didn't she?
Yeah, but that's the thing. She was actually a big fitness fanatic in the UK. I wasn't. Like, waking up for runs, I used to just lug myself to Pure Gym. Everyone looked depressed.
But it's different, man. It's different back
Yeah,
home.
I
It's
would go
dark
and do
grey,
like 3 or 4 workouts and then dip, and that was me ready for the day. You know, I was always driven, but fitness for me wasn't massive in the UK because I didn't have anybody else around me to do it. But I think you said there, mindset definitely. Especially being in the UK, mindset's a big battle. You know, you wake up, it's gloomy, it's cold. I used to walk to work when I worked in the city, and then also walk to my office when I then eventually got an office. And I tweeted, this would have been in 2018, and I was like, why does everybody in the city look so depressed? Because I used to walk through Bethnal Green, through Liverpool Street, through St Paul's, and I used to look at all these older people suited and booted, and I was 3-piece suited up. I just think you all look so unhappy. And then I knew from the get-go that the journey I was on wasn't forever, but it was to build the foundations of what I'm going to pay back. You know,
100%,
the only reason I went into sales was Wolf of Wall Street. You know, I wanted to be that guy in a 3-piece suit, going to Broadgate Circle, saying I worked in the city, smashing the phones, but I always knew I was unemployable. I said it to my director from day one. I said, I'm unemployable. He said, well, I'll change that. Yeah, he changed it for 5 years, but look now. But yeah, those 3 factors, and I think who you surround yourself with is also the most important. You know, me and Jimmy text each other every day. And what I hate about the UK, Jimmy will text me about a big trade, I'll text him about a big deal. If you do that in the UK, you're a little bit arrogant. Now, you're not, but it's the way people portray it. Oh, you're showing off. Well, I'm not, but you need to create a circle of people around you. Where if I tell you I've just made $1 million, you're going to say, you know what, tomorrow I'm going to make $2 million. Not turn around and go, oh, bloody hell, mate, showing off a little bit, or give us a job, or put me on. It's sort of like we're just pushing each other 24/7.
It's different. Mentality is different.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I think as well, like, so you don't just get it overnight. You know, we're all sitting here now doing this podcast. We've been to the gym this morning. We trained. We had something to eat, coffee, laughing at. Like, you don't just get here overnight. There's every single person has a story to tell, and there's been a journey. You know, like, so for me, I've done multiple different jobs, hated every single thing, didn't really have any purpose in life. I was just fucking going out, drinking all the time, and I would just work to get a bit of beer money and then go out on the weekend. I've always loved clothes, so I spend all my money on designer clothes, and I didn't have no savings, nothing like that. But then I got given an opportunity, basically from my best friend. I always talk about this. 10 years ago now, he wanted to start up a gym, and he was like, look, I wanna open a gym. Why don't you do a personal training course and you run this gym? And I was like, that's what I need. I was like, this is my chance. This is what I need to do. So I've done that, and then here I am 10 years later. Like, I've had 3 different gym studios. I've built a successful online coaching business. I now do more one-to-one training in Dubai, just because the market out here is unbelievable and I love it. I've got unbelievable clients and people that are actually driven to get better. There's no cancellations. There's no, oh, can't we do this? Can't we do that? Like, I start work at 6 o'clock in the morning. My own choice. I don't need to do that, but I like doing that. I've just been working with a client. She's really high up on one of the real estate companies out here. And she's like, oh, I need to train at 6 o'clock in the morning. That's the only time I can do. So most people would probably say no. But I was like, you know what? I was like, this is going to be a good client. I could tell that she's passionate. I could tell that she's going to work really hard. I'm going to make the effort to get her to where she needs to get to, because she's got a 6-month goal. So I've done that. So, you know, you have to do the shit stuff to get to the good stuff. And
That's
I think
nice to hear, though. Like, from a PT's perspective, you're that invested that you're like, do you know what? Because I want you to succeed so much, I'm gonna get in early.
Do you know what?
100%.
But you know what, Dan? Like, everyone wants the results, but not a lot of people want to put in the work.
Yeah.
And that's with business as well.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to be like a top personal trainer or a top coach, like, you have to go over and beyond for clients. You can't just like, look, I'm lucky. I've not got kids and I've got time to do this, right? But for me, my whole thing is like, I want to be the best. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I want my name and my reputation. And I'll be honest with you, like, I don't even promote personal training, and I'm nearly fully booked 6 days a week. Like, I work Saturdays as well, and that's just all from referrals and all from word of mouth. And that's my main thing. It's always been about, because you can spend a lifetime to building up a reputation, and then you could do, one bad thing and you can lose it overnight. So my whole thing has been like, reputation, build it up, be the best, let people talk about you and the service that you provide. So that's been one of the main things for me. So Jim, like, what have you done to get to where you are today?
I think it's like the compound wins. Like, I was having this conversation with you the other day, Tom, and it was kind of like a reality check. I kind of like took a step back and was like, I realised where I was. Because if I was to say to my 20-year-old self now where I am today, it's everything I ever dreamed of and manifested.
Man.
But because we put so much pressure on ourselves still now, sometimes I don't actually realise where I am. Yeah. But I think I've come to the point now, after being there for a couple of years, I do know where I am. And now I know that, and now I have that self-confidence. I can easily see where I can get it to.
Yeah.
So, like, for anyone that's just starting out, it's not so scary. It's just about turning up, showing up, getting the small wins, and over a long period of time, you will get there.
1000%.
Yeah, 100%.
It is like, it's exactly that. Sometimes you have to pinch yourself and realize like where you are and what you're doing. Like, it happened to me. Like, I'll be honest with you, I've been at it 2 years now. It took me a whole year to get settled. Didn't really quite know, whether it was for me and stuff like that. And then about 6 months ago, I was fully invested coaching. I've still got an amazing business, but I'm in a position now where I sort of you know, I will say no to a client if they don't align with sort of the direction that I'm taking. And for me, it ain't always about money. It's about the standard of client that I work with. And is this person going to give me 100%, because I'm going to give them 110%, and I'm going to make sure that I get them their goal. But if they're, you know, someone who's a victim and moaning all the time and don't want to do what I ask them to do, I just won't waste my time anymore, because it's too stressful. I don't need to be doing that. You know what I mean? So about 6 months ago, I sat down and I was like, right, I was like, when was I at my happiest and what was I doing? And it was about 9 years ago when I first had my first PT studio, and I was really busy and I was training people face to face, and I was having great conversations with people, you know, just being with clients every day, talking about certain things. And I was like, it's hard work, because it is very time consuming, but I really enjoyed it. I really enjoy being in the gym and being with these clients and getting to see the progress that they make. And, you know, if they turn up and having a bit of a shit day, I know after that hour session, they're going to leave feeling good, because that's my job, to make them feel good. Yeah. So, yeah, I've made myself work harder, but I'm happier. So that was a big decision for me like 6 months ago. And, you know, we was in a sauna, weren't we? And we was talking about that. And you said that the shift in your mindset, I mean, you said to me the other day, didn't you?
Yeah.
So you have to sometimes you have to take a step back to move forward.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at things.
Yeah, no, I've seen that, bro. I remember, as you said there, sitting in the sauna and you were just like, not lost, but I think you do sometimes come to a realization on, it's like what I had my online educational platform, which I stopped last year. And I was sort of the same. I was trying to chase the bag too much, but I was looking at, I'm not actually enjoying this at the minute. You know, I'm going to run myself into the ground, and I'm also going to provide a shit service for those that are enrolling. We're about to launch it this year, which is going to be phenomenal, because I've realigned who I am, my purpose, and there's a bit more of a juicier story now. But yeah, I remember sitting with you and just like, bro, like, I think you was in a position where things were good, they were great, but you weren't happy, which I think is the hardest thing to have a battle with, where things are going so good, business is great and the money's coming in, but there's no real purpose behind that. And obviously you've done that shift, and look at the caliber of clients that you've got now. You're dealing with some of Dubai's top 1%. Yeah, man. You know, and that's what you want from a business. And you said there, we never see content from you selling. You know, a lot of online coaches are like, join my 1 day to go or 3 slots left, and that's desperation that I find.
But I've been in that position. You know, I've done that, and I didn't really like what I was doing. If I'm honest, obviously you get advice, and you know you're on mentorships and stuff like that. And I understand, like you're running a business, and you do need to earn money, and you want to be successful, but people figure you out, man. You've got to be authentic with your content. Yeah. Because people will, you know, buy into you being authentic because they relate to your story. They're like, wow, this person cares about his clients. You know what I mean? He cares about what he does. So like I said, sometimes you have to take a step back to move forward. And also you touched on purpose there as well. Like another thing is as well, sometimes people are trying to find their purpose. I think sometimes you've got to create it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
for me, it was like moving out here, and I had big changes going on in my life, like, you know, massive changes. And I was like, right, I need to now create a new purpose. So that's what I've been doing, and I found it.
I think for me, like, you need to know when the right time is to move on. Yeah. I started coming to Dubai 4 years ago. So I was opened up to what the everyday working lifestyle was, because I wasn't just here for holidays. I was with my old company, but I was getting a taster. I was doing like 2-week stints at a time, living here, working here. Okay. So every time I'd come, kind of get a feeling of what it would be like to be in Dubai. And started to learn more about what I want and what I like. But even then, it's knowing when to make that jump, because I was happy. I was earning very well at my old company. But there was just something missing. So, I mean, we risked it all. I left everything behind because I knew that short-term pain would push me to where I want to be, would push me to where I want to get to eventually. But taking that leap was the best decision I ever made.
You believed in yourself.
Yeah.
Like you said, like you set up in June and moved out in September. Yeah. That's you had to make a really, really important decision, especially you had to move family out here. Do you know what I mean? So like, there was no failing. It had to work. Yeah. You understand? Like I'm saying, like you had to make it work, and you did, didn't it?
On that point, I literally come home one day and said to Yaz, we're moving to Dubai. Yeah. And she was like, what? Okay, what? Like,
I remember me and Danny went for we went for a bit of dinner in London. We was in the Ned, and we just said to each other, right, what do we want to do for our family? What do we want to do for our legacy?
Yeah.
Like, this is our chance. Are you all in? And he looked at me and said, I'm all in. And then we went and done it.
Well, another thing, like what you just said there has to be an end goal, because if there isn't an end goal, what are you working towards? Do you know what I mean? There has to be something that you're like, right, this is where I want to be at, this point in my life, whatever. It might be an age, you know what I mean? But there has to be something to work towards, isn't it? Now, let's talk about the good things and the bad things about Dubai. So the good things is amazing people out here, sunshine, the quality of life, safety. But then there's bad things out here as well. You can get sucked into that lifestyle of going out, drinking and partying. It's expensive out here. It's hard to survive. Like, I know myself, when I moved out here, I literally wasn't planning on it. About a month before I moved out here, I was like, right, I need to fresh start. I need to move out here. And when I got out here, I had an Airbnb for 2 months. I wanted somewhere nice to stay. So that was quite a bit of money. Then you have to get your IDs and your, set everything up. And like, I was like 20 grand done. And I was like, fuck, I was like, is this what Dubai is? But that scares a lot of people. But what I will say is, if you get things sorted and you get things in place and you be smart, it's a much better way of living in it.
Oh.
It's a much better way. Like, it's just, for me, I don't think there's many places better in the world now. And I never thought I'd ever be out here. I was one of them people that would say like, oh, Dubai is this, Dubai is that. And when you actually get out here and you live here and you realise like what it has to offer, and it's only going to get better, innit? Like the stuff that they're doing out here. When did you decide to move out here?
Do you know what? I come out here in 2022. I come out here with my missus and her family. Didn't really experience Dubai because we was with family, so we never done really any of the expensive stuff, or we didn't really explore. But it was a nice holiday. I thought, you know what, Dubai is amazing. Like the sunshine and the big buildings, there's money everywhere, And then me and Lauren decided to come back out in 2023. I come out in Feb. Love that. Could never see myself living here, honestly, because I spent an absolute fortune. Done about 15 grand. I said to us, this place is just like, you're blowing money. I remember going to a restaurant with a big wad of cash, the bill come, and I like didn't even, like, obviously I had enough on the car, but I just thought, wow, how have I just spent £600? We've only had a starter and a main. And then in that period of coming out here, I met a friend of mine who's now my business partner. Had a bit of a conversation. He was just like straight away, he's like, mate, you've got to move out here, bring the business, it will do really, really well. And I said, yeah. I said, but like business in the UK for me is booming. I didn't leave the UK because business was bad. In fact, I sort of had the industry in a bit of a headlock. People didn't really understand how we was doing the numbers we was doing. It was just, I took every deal, whether I was making £10, £5, £20, whether it was driving from London to Essex, I'd done it, and I enjoyed doing it. Come out here in 2023, July, done a little bit of a pop-up. And that's when I really got the taste for Dubai. A little bit different to Jimmy. Jimmy had that sort of coming out here, tasting it a little bit. I didn't taste anything home or business-wise until I done that pop-up. I come out with like 35 grams worth of stuff, stayed with a client in Dubai Hills, and it sold within 2 days. And I was like, wow. Yeah, I didn't have a name out here either. And then I remember going home and I said to Lauren, I said, look, we're moving. And she was like, what? Similar to that with Yaz. I said, we are moving to Dubai.
But that's what you've got to do sometimes. You just got to fucking go for it, ain't you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you know what it was for me? It wasn't, I sort of looked at it and I said, what have I got to lose, There's a lot of people and friends, in fact, that talk about Dubai. And I say to them, what have you got to lose? You haven't got kids. You haven't got big bills to pay out for. Like, I still lived at home, So my mentality was, look, let's move out here. Let's make it work. And if it doesn't work, we're going to go back. But I was so heavily involved in manifestation that I was like, this is going to work. I'm going to take over Dubai. I'm going to do this, and this. Did have a little bit of like self-doubt. In fact, when we acquired the office in April 2024, I created a business plan of exit. Now, I created, if I was to leave Dubai, because I acquired an office for 2 years, that I committed to my business partner, look, I'll leave the space to you and the UK numbers will pay off for the space if it doesn't work. And now look, like we're acquiring our second showroom. I'm just about to open a store in Doha. I'm going to take over the world of what I'm about to do. And I've paved the way for the industry. But some people can say that sounds a little bit arrogant, but I don't care.
Yeah, but listen, it's the work ethic. Like I said, like, look, I know I've already said it, but like, it's relentless. Like, it's like you work 7 days a week And that's the reason you've been able to get yourself in that position, because you've got a clear goal of where you want to get to and nothing's getting in the way.
Yeah.
And look at the growth that you've been able to see. Fucking hell, probably like 12 months really, innit? Do you know what I mean? The growth to go from here to here, and like, I don't know if you want to talk about it, but like the stuff that you've got coming up in the pipeline is like, it's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think like all of us here, we have come from zero.
Yeah,
The name of the podcast, it speaks 1,000 words, right? We're not sitting here with investors or capital raised or business partners that put money into the business. We've sort of come out here with the fuck it mentality of we're going to come out here, we're going to make it work, and we're not going to go back. Like, I've just brought my little brother out and I said, it's a one-way ticket. Now, what I mean by that is, if you go back, you've failed. And he's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? I said, if you go back, you've failed. Yeah, you've got it a little bit easier than probably most people because you're walking into an established business paid by me, but I'm not going to make this journey easy. Yeah, I didn't see a beach club for 6 months. Yeah. You said to me the other day, we're speaking about Feb 1st. I was like, bro, I've never been. You know, I haven't been to these places. Why? Because that's the typical Dubai downfall.
100%.
You know, I've seen it.
Yeah.
There's a party every day here. Monday, booming. Tuesday, booming. It's not like London. No. Thursday, Friday was the days you go out.
And I think as well, like, what's important, like me and Danny have had our fair share of parties, haven't we, Dan? Do you know what I mean? Sure. But like we don't drink. Like for me, when I go back to England, it's hard because I'm with my best mates. Like I'll go out with them. I'm drinking a lot. Out here, I've got no temptation to drink. Like once every like 2-3 months, I'll have like a mad night out. Like we had a Christmas party, didn't we? In Serene. Laughing, but yeah, that was just like a blowout. But we deserved it. Do you know what I mean? It was good.
And now I love that.
It was good, but like you know, not drinking, and that's why your brain is so switched on, because when you're boozing every single weekend, and I've learnt this from working with hundreds of different clients, like turning up on a Monday morning. Things are different. If you're boozing that weekend, you're not motivated, you feel shit, you want to eat crap food, it takes you a 2-3 day, and then that's what a lot of people can't do, break that cycle. Go out the weekend, Monday they feel like shit, Tuesday still feel like shit, Wednesday start feeling a little bit better, Thursday they're okay, Friday they're okay, they go out Friday night and it just keeps rolling round. So the whole drinking side of things is, in my opinion, that's what sets people back the most.
Yeah, I mean, I remember like I was pretty much drinking every single day of the week when I worked in London.
That's mad. I can't imagine you, mate.
Earning good money, no real responsibility, no one telling me what to do, living the high life, but I wasn't happy. So when I decided to stop drinking, I suddenly regained control over my own thoughts, started to understand what I want, what I don't like, and then actually just questioning my environment.
Was you training when you was drinking?
I mean, I was training, but I wasn't committed. I wasn't putting my all into it. I was doing everything. Every single thing I was doing was half-hearted, because the number one priority was, when can I have a beer? Whether that was at 11 a.m, whether that was 9 p.m, if I'm going out with clients or friends. It was just an end of the cycle. Don't get me wrong, it was fun.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be where I am right now if I didn't decide to stop drinking in London 2 years ago.
Yeah. It's got you like that. That's, and the fact that you've been able to like make that decision, because look, you do have fun when you have a drink, when you're out, and you.
But like at the start, I remember everybody in my whole circle just thought I was crazy. They were like egging me on to drink.
Yeah, of course.
So they were like, "Oh, like, fuck off! Why you're just gonna have a beer? Come on, mate!" And they couldn't understand that I didn't want to be that person anymore.
Yeah.
And when you come to Dubai, nobody's doing that. If you decide, I'm not going to drink, there's no one on your shoulders forcing you to drink just to make themselves feel better.
So I know a lot about that, because like with coaching the clients I work with, and people that want to have a break off the booze, they don't need to, like, look, I'll be honest with you, like I drink every 3 months. I'll have a mad night out. If I'm back in England in the summer, I was in Spain in the summer, I went out 5 times, like I was in T-Boo 6 o'clock in the morning, just is what it is, right? But when you're doing what you said with like your friends, and you're trying to tell your friends that you want to have a break and you don't want to drink, and they're like, oh, come out, like deep down them friends do want the best for you, but they don't realize the journey that you're on until they do something like that themselves.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So like until they decide to stop drinking, they don't understand like what it is that you're trying to do. They're your friends. They do want the best for you in life, but also they want you to come out and have a beer and have a little party with them. Do you know what I mean? So until someone does something themselves, they won't understand what it actually is.
Yeah.
But you know, the fact that you was able to like cut that off and stop, that's a big achievement. Should be proud.
Yeah, I am, and I think like moving here, it's like you've got choices, right? You could, like you said before, you can either go down the beach club, you can get wrapped into this, and you can quite quickly be sent home. But if you actually just work on moving one step closer to your goals every day, then you're not going to be wrapped
The
into
reason
the
why I
lifestyle.
asked about whether you was training when you was going out like drinking every day is because, you know, the gym does give you a little bit of purpose, because what it does, it builds discipline. So you might be disciplined with your work. Everyone wants to earn money. Everyone wants to work hard. But when you're invested into like gym, and when I say gym, like a lot of people think, oh, like your gym rat, you spend your whole life in the gym and you just like your bodybuilding. It ain't. You can just go in there and do a walk for 20 minutes on a treadmill. Do you know what I mean? But you're building discipline. You like it's the small habits that, you know, get the big results. So you might just be like, oh, you know, I go gym Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays. I have to go. So you're building sort of that routine. And I know from experience back in the day, if I was hungover, I'm not going to the gym.
No.
So like your mindset's completely different.
Not
Innit?
even working.
Oh, exactly,
Pushing
yeah.
every single callback.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think the gym for me, look, yes, I go to the gym to get in shape. This year's the year for me. This is the six-pack year.
Takeover season.
But the main purpose of me, especially going to the gym, even on days that I don't want to, it's that sense of mindset. You know, it's my time to get in the gym before work. And the reason I get in the gym so early, because I don't need to get in so early, is because that's my time, just me, that I can just zone in and I can just think about new ideas, and the creative head comes on before going into a big bulk of work. Because being a personal shopper and reseller, people think, oh, you're just selling trainers. There's a lot of pressure, and you're working on people's time. You know, I've got a lot of big VVIPs, they want it and they want it now.
Yeah.
So it's very easy to say, you know, I'm not going to go gym today because I've got work to do. I just get in early. It just gets my mindset in check. And we build a sense of community. I'll be in the gym, I'll bump into Jim, bump into you.
Yeah.
We'll have a quick coffee together. And then it just gives you that dopamine for the day.
Well, also you're doing the hardest thing of the day. Like if you've got the luxury of training in the morning, you're doing like the most difficult thing soon, like first thing in the morning. So you're setting yourself up for. Now I understand some people haven't got the luxury of like training in the morning. They might have to train in the evening, and I get that, totally get that. But if you start your day correct, then you're gonna go on to have a good day.
Yeah,
because you've
100%.
just got it out of the way.
Me and Danny have this conversation all the time because we say nobody can take away the fact that you've done that session, you've put in that hard work. No matter if you're sitting down for a meeting and someone's 100 times more rich than you, and you've showed up and you've put that work in, you've got an advantage over to them.
100%.
So there's other ways to have an advantage over people that are in a better situation than you.
Well, this is another thing with like not just like Seven Gym where we train, like not just talking about gym, it's probably all gyms out here, but you go in there and there's obviously, you know, big players, big businessmen and that in there, and business women as well, but they're actually working out.
Yeah.
Like I used to go with David Lloyd in Chigwell for many years, and you know, no one used to train in there. It used to be like a leisure club. Like women were just like walking about, not doing anything. You go in these gyms and people are actually training. They're actually doing something. So I think what we just spoke about doing the hard thing first thing in the morning and setting yourself up for a good day. If I'm in that gym at 8 o'clock and I look around and I see all the regulars and they're all exercising, they're setting themselves up for a good day.
Yeah, exactly.
They might have multi-million pound meetings this afternoon, but I know they're setting themselves
We're
up.
doing business in the gym at 8 in the morning.
Yeah.
I've made millions in that gym.
But
That's what I love.
But this is another thing as well about like your work ethic. Like you said to me, like I think you spoke about this before, but you're like, I'm not leaving this gym until I get a number.
I don't leave.
And exactly.
100%.
Like,
I don't leave that gym because you know what it is. It's again very different to London. People are happy.
People
I've
have
never said hello to
conversations.
so many people at 6 a.m. in the morning in my life. And I remember going back to London and I walked into Pure Gym, and this was last year. And I remember saying morning to someone, and he just like sort of went like that. And I just thought, oh yeah, shit, yeah, we are in London. Don't say hello to me.
like I used to train in third space, right? And when I went back in the summer, I went with my brother-in-law to the new one near Liverpool Street. So we got in there at 6. And I understand things are different, time's different back home in London. You're in the city, people got to start working that. But it was like what they say, like the rat race. Like it was so packed in there, and people were next to each other, but no one was talking. Everyone was like, people were training, but it was just like negative energy. Like I felt like I could have had a fight in there. Like and you know, I'm like, fucking hell, what's going on here? And then you go to the showers, there's a queue for the showers. Like, things are different back home.
Yeah.
It's different. Like you said, you walk in that gym at 6:30 in the morning. Hello, how are you? You know, like you're having like nice conversations. People are happy. Very, very different.
Yeah.
So Jim, what you got coming up in the future? Candy Pay.
Yeah, so we're now at a 7-man head count. Candy Pay's moving into both the banking platform space. So we're becoming our own neo digital bank. So prior to this, we were just a consultancy. So we've invested a lot of our own funds and the profits that we've made back into the business, so that we can make a mark on Dubai and get to the position we want to be in. But we've also just started another business called We Build Banks. So I think for our space in the banking world, most people in our industry are really focusing on their own bank. There's a lot of competitors out there, but since we've done the A to Z full roadmap, we kind of sat there and we said, we can help other people become their own bank. Yeah. So our new business, We Build Banks, is launching in the next few weeks, which isn't just thinking about our own pockets, but it's actually taking all of the lessons we've learned, the 24 months it's taken us, and condensing that into 90 days to basically eliminate all the problems we've had. We've kissed all the frogs. So we're excited to launch that business in the next few weeks.
Yeah, nice. Love that.
Yeah.
And like, what's a typical day in a life look like for you?
I mean,
You're training with me, obviously.
Yeah, so I think training with you it's helped me so training with you is just one thing the less that I've got to think about. I know that I can just turn up to the gym and I can get something done. I'm not on my phone. I can just get that 1 hour in. You push me harder than I've ever trained in my life. So that box is ticked. We'll have a coffee. Immediately my brain's ticking, because we're talking about business, we're talking about fitness, we're talking about how we can push each other. And I think from the moment I wake up, it's just go, 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 go. I then get back to my apartment. I have a quick shower and I meet Danny down in the lobby. And that's where we spend 99% of our time.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, that lobby in the Address Beach resort, similar to what you've done in Seven, it's fast-tracked our whole business. And living and working in that environment has been a blessing in disguise, because we sit there and we're around high net worths who own multiple properties in the Address, and over time they become your friends.
Yeah.
And I remember when we first moved there, I think it was about 3 months in, nobody had spoken to us, and we were kind of questioning whether this was the right place to live. But you've got a lot of holiday makers. There's a lot of traffic coming in and out. There's a lot of traffic actually going to your pop-up that you got there.
Yeah, that's
But
Listen, that honestly, you smashed it there, putting that pop-up.
yeah.
But being based there has just been the best decision we've ever made, because all of a sudden your friends are ultra high net worths. Yeah. You're going to play paddle with them. You're having a coffee with them. You're getting to know them, and just ideas come to light in such a small space of time. Apart from that, we're flying up and down the Sheikh Zayed Road. We're going to meetings. Like, clients are inviting us around their villas for dinner, for lunch meetings, and just having that flexibility. I suppose the problem for me was I felt so isolated working in an office. And when I'd come here, I quite quickly realised that my business is online. It don't matter where I am in the world. I could be in Sao Paulo, I could be in Bangkok, I could be in Barcelona, but I'm going to get that work done. So it doesn't matter where I am or who I'm with. I know I've got my phone, I've got my laptop, and as business comes, I'm gonna get it done. But yeah, it's very diverse. We do spend 99% of our time in the JBR, probably because of the traffic.
Traffic, man.
Well, if you go to meet Jimmy for a meeting, you just stay there.
Yeah, it's mad.
Just stay there.
Dan, what about you? Dan, alive?
Day in the life. So I'm up at about 6:30, help Yaz get the kids ready for school, or kid ready for school. So my boy Jude goes to school. Then I go golf or paddle. Come back. Most days we'll go into the gym or do a run as well in the morning. Come back, have breakfast with my younger son, then get ready. We're like 4 hours ahead of the UK, so we can start 11, 12 o'clock. because obviously it's still really early there. So it's lovely for that because you get your full morning to yourself. And then just as Jimmy said, we're pretty much just working, and then go home at like 4 o'clock or something for half hour, see the kids, and then back down to the lobby.
Grafting.
Working.
What a nice experience as well, just because like this is a decision as well, because we'll be working, because of the time zone difference, we'll be working till 11, 12 o'clock at night most nights, but instead of Danny having to travel an hour and a half, 2 hours back to his house, he can just pop upstairs quickly, put the kids to bed and come back down, back to work.
But listen, you've created this life for yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like you've made it work. Big H, day in the life. Come on.
Day in the life. I'm up at around 6, nice and early, straight down to 7. Get a nice workout in, and then I sort of start to map out my day. We see each other in the lobby area. I map out my day, get a bit networking. As you said there, don't leave that gym until I get a number. You know, that's my dopamine for the day. Obviously, we've got the pop-up downstairs now, so it's a lot nicer. In between that, my industry is very fast-paced. You know, this is a city that never sleeps. So inquiries would have been coming in from the evening, or they'll come in straight away. When someone wants a Birkin at 6 a.m, they want a Birkin at 6 a.m.
It's only in Dubai.
Only in Dubai. So I'll use that grace period between showroom opening at around 10 to finishing gym to just get organised and get ahead. But my days change, you know. Again, I'm working on people's timings. A day that maybe would seem slow could turn from 0 to 100 like it did the other day. I'm straight into the showroom. We're briefing the team. And then sort of one thing that I'm really working on this year is working on the business, not so much in the business. It's very hard for me. I speak to a lot of mentors and they say, yeah, you need to work on it and not in it. But I am the business at the minute, which is good and bad. You know, this started as queuing outside shops at 14 to my mum's spare bedroom to a shed, and now I've got a showroom and I've got a team. And obviously we're taking a new showroom and a new shop in a new location. So my now thing is looking at the business, hiring the right people. But yeah, I'm in the showroom, I'm doing deals, I'm darting around like you guys said, seeing clients and trying to build as many relationships as possible. I'm buying stock, I'm selling stock. Sort of if I had a GoPro, mate, just imagine putting, like a blade, yeah? Remember a blade? You just pull and you should just spin everywhere.
Yeah.
That's what day in life looks like for me, because it's so erratic.
Yeah.
You know, there's no off button. There's no we're done with work. Yeah. I've had calls at 4 a.m. in the morning. But I think the biggest thing for me is I love it. You know,
you got to love what you do.
Yeah, I love what I do. Whether some people say you're mad, mate, like you was up at 6, you're going to bed at 1 a.m. Listen, this
is what I said to you. Like, you know, the one thing that you should focus on is getting better quality sleep.
Yeah.
But because of the industry that you're in, you will get a phone call at 10:30 at night. Like, I want a bag, I want to watch. Can you deliver this?
Yeah.
And because you love it and it's your baby, you're gonna do it.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? So I think you're learning a little bit now. You're getting a bit better.
It's just hard though, isn't it? Because like sometimes with Danny's got the kids, he'll get to sleep at like 11, and then where I've got that freedom to be able to work, like there's some days I'm up till 2, like you.
Yeah.
And we're doing deals like way past when I should be going to sleep. But then it's good having the flexibility of my own time, because like I can text you and say, look, Tom, I need to do a training session a little bit later today because I worked right through. But
yeah, so for me, like one thing I've learned is putting systems in place for what I do business wise. So it was finding a way to do my one-to-one sessions and also coach at the same time. It took me a little while to work it out, but now like I'll be up at 5, I have my first client at 6, then I'll probably train 3 or 4 people back to back at the gym. Then I will have something to eat, have a coffee, we'll sit down. Then I will go to like J1, like Jamira Place, train another client. And then in the afternoon is when I do my coaching, my programs. I might do a few Zoom calls, stuff like that. Sometimes I might have another client late afternoon to Lau El Gaff, places like that. But then I try and wind down in the evenings quite early. So I'll go for a little walk about 6 o'clock. I'll make my dinner. And then, you know, most nights I go to bed about 9:30, 9:45. But again, you've got to love what you do, and I love it. So that's sort of what I've done since I've been out here. I've been able to build this routine, and it keeps me in shape. You know, it keeps me feeling good. I've been able to grow the business. I've been able to pick clients up on a regular basis. So yeah, that's it. And then just not get distracted by anything else.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Listen, that was the first episode.
Yeah.
Hope everyone enjoyed it. this is going to be a regular thing. So episode 1 from Zero Podcasts. Boys, do you enjoy it?
Yeah, loved
I
it.
smashed
good.
it.
All
Smashed
right,
it.
let's do it.
Let's go.
Wicked.